Good morning, students. So, today we will do the new reading of the next part, and three topics are here. Today we will complete this chapter, and then we will do the exercise. So, I'm going to start the topic Red Data Book. What is Red Data Book and who maintained this book and why this is maintained? We will discuss here in this topic. So, students, you can see this IUCN. This is a type of organization which is also under the UNO, and it stands for International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. Right? International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. And this union, it maintains our wildlife, plants and animals, and only those which are threatened species. Threatened means which are near to extinction. Is it clear? So, this IUCN, International Union for the, and this maintains all these in a book which is called Red Data Book. Different groups of animals, they are given place in different red data books, and then this IUCN, it distributes all these books to different countries so that they can take care how to manage, how to conserve their biodiversity. Means they can see easily in that book that which animal is under threatening, which is nearly going to extinct, and care should be taken so that particular country, they can make the strategies to protect, to conserve that animal. Right? That is the purpose of this book. So I'm going to start the reading now. The IUCN, International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, abbreviation very important, maintains an international list of animals and plants whose continued existence is threatened. So I told you earlier, means those animals and plants which are at higher risk of being extinct. This list is published as the Red Data Book. Its name is Red Data Book. Species are classified into different categories of perceived risk. Each Red Data Book usually deals with a specific group of animals or plants. Example, reptiles, insects, mosses and others also. Means different animals, the groups, they have given different places. They are mentioned in the different Red Data books. They are now being published in different countries and provide useful information on the threat status of different species. Means different countries are having all these Red Data books of different groups of animals, and they can easily see the higher means the animals and plants which are at higher risk of extinction. So they can see the status, means they can see the threat status of different species, right? So so that they can take the further steps how to conserve. Next one is the migration. Migration word, very familiar word. You are also knowing this word. What is the meaning of migration? Means to move from one place to another place. That is called the migration. So here migration means in this case migration of birds, animals we will talk about. Migration is the periodic movement of a species of animals or birds from the place where it has been living to a new area and its subsequent return journey to the original home. What does it mean? It means animals and birds, they will migrate from one place to another place for the two purposes. One, for the search of food, and second, for the breeding for copulation, right? Breeding copulation means for reproducing. So for these purposes they move from their original home, but periodic means at the fixed interval, at the fixed time in a year they move there and then come back. That is the meaning of the periodic movement. So when animals and birds migrate, it is usually to find abundant food and a favorable place to breed. Sorry. So, is it clear about the migration? The precise methods by which animals navigate and know where to go and are still obscure. Means exact methods by which they migrate, how they know the places where to go and how to go. Right? Navigation purpose. Navigation means simply when we find any place by using the map, that is called the navigation. Are still obscure. Obscure means still not known clearly. Right? But what they use, I talk about the birds, they have very, very good eyesight as comparison to human beings. Right? And they have very good memory also, visual memory also. So they use the advantage of these qualities, birds, for this purpose. And another thing is there, very, very important, like the magnetic field, use of the magnetic field. Because in some birds, not in maximum birds, there is inbuilt tendency to they have the inbuilt, you can say, the magnetic compass, which help in finding the direction, as its north pole will direct them towards the north direction, and south pole it will direct them towards the south direction. And that compass is located, a sort of compass, not magnetic, completely iron made compass, but it is a type of tissue which is placed between the eye and the brain. Okay, so now let me do the reading. First, the precise methods by which animals navigate and know where to go are still obscure, not still known. Birds have very sharper eyesight and better visual memory and of ground clues than humans. I told you earlier. But in long distance flights, they appear to navigate with the help of sun and stars also. You also know this, sun and with the help of the sun and stars. Right, by their movement they will follow the direction, possibly in combination with a reading of Earth's magnetic field. This is achieved through an inbuilt magnetic compass, which is a tiny mass of tissue between the eye and the brain of birds. I told you about this. What is this magnetic compass? Right, it is a sort of tissue, not iron made any type of compass. So this is about the migration, means the periodic movement from one place to another place in search of food and for mating, for reproducing. For these two purposes they migrate. Right? So then second topic is the reforestation. Reforestation means again doing the afforestation, right? Reforestation, also referred to as the afforestation, is the process of restoring and recreating areas of forest that once existed but have been reforested or otherwise removed. Means once there is a particular area, once there were forests but they were removed from that place for various purposes, by any reason, but now again planting more and more trees there in that place, right? That is called the reforestation, right? If particular area we are doing reforestation in a particular area, so care should be taken that only that plants should be planted there that were earlier there. Why? Because there will be the proper adaptation abilities of that particular plants. Adaptation means survival according to environment. best adjustment according to environment, that is called the adaptation ability. And plants, they will be having these particular nutrients at that place. While this practice is rapidly gaining momentum in order to promote conservation practices, what needs to be kept in mind while selecting the plants for reforestation? One should be careful that the same species of plants should be selected that were there at the respective area earlier. I told you earlier why. Same type of species should be planted there. This promotes the rapid re-establishment of the both flora and fauna of that in that forest. Means by planting the same species, one, they will grow much better because they are having the adaptability there. Second thing, we will conserve our flora and fauna of that particular place, right? In that particular place, different places are famous for their rich biodiversity, means they are known by their biodiversity. So if you want to conserve that biodiversity there, we should again, if we talk about the plants, we should again plant that only particular species of plants, right? Then after this, the last topic of this chapter is the recycling of paper. Again, this is an old book, a new book I will see, but still that we do here. Recycling means again using that paper. That is the meaning of the recycling. Recycling is the process of recovering waste paper and remaking it into the new paper. Means here we will use the old paper, old waste paper, and we modify this old paper by proper recycling, proper modifications into the new one, which is for our use. Paper suitable for recycling, that is called the scrap paper. The paper which we are using for recycling, for using further, that is called the scrap paper. Today, 90% of paper pulp, that is obtained from the wood. So paper production accounts for about 35% of felled trees. Means total deforestation we do, 35% is plants are used. They contribute 35% for the production of the paper. So recycling of newsprint saves a lot of wood. Means recycling is very, very important. So if we do the recycling properly, we can save huge amount of wood. It has been estimated that recycling half of the world's paper would avoid the deforestation of 20 million acres of forest land. This is an estimate. We can also contribute in this process. We should reduce wastage of paper and try to reuse paper whenever possible. So this is all about this chapter. Do reading. If some topics left, then I will discuss with you later. I will compare the old book and new book, then I will discuss them. Okay, so this is all about. Thank you.